Alright, listen up, this isn't your usual celebrity gossip. The internet just exploded over Cash Jr.'s DNA results, and trust me, the truth, it's messier than anyone expected. Blueface says he's not the father, but the streets aren't buying it. NLE Choppa is ready to throw him under the bus. The baby's mom is under fire, and the timeline, it's full of secrets, betrayals, and drama that nobody's talking about. You think you know the story? Think again. Stick around, because we're breaking down every shocking detail that's got the whole internet losing it. So, who's really Cash Jr.'s dad? Let's be real here, what do you think? Honestly, a lot of people think it's her ex. They were together longer than some of the other drama going on at the time. And looking at the baby, a lot of folks say he kind of resembles him. Blueface, on the other hand, he's been saying the baby doesn't look like him at all. He admits he hasn't really studied the kid's features that closely, but he's open to hearing opinions. He's already got kids, so he knows how tricky these situations can get. And, scientifically speaking, if a DNA test proves it, well, that's the end of the debate. He's even joked about doing a DNA test for money, saying if someone offers him $100,000, he'd post the results without hesitation. But when it comes to respecting women, he draws the line. He makes it clear, he'd never lay a hand on a woman in anger. In his past, maybe there were minor scuffles to protect himself, but fighting a woman, never. Blueface often talks about giving credit to God for his life and his hustle. He says all the passion he had back in the Dathafire, the drive, the grind, it was all real, but he admits life isn't the same anymore. Things have changed. The energy has shifted. And the challenges he faces now are completely different from the ones he battled in the beginning. He reflects on that journey often, thinking back to when it was just him, a backpack, and a pair of cleats, dreaming about what could be. In those days, nothing felt guaranteed. Every step forward was a struggle, every opportunity had to be fought for, and every success felt like a small miracle. He emphasizes that what he's accomplished could have been achieved by someone else in his shoes. Anyone could have done what I did, he often says. That perspective isn't about humility, it's about acknowledging that luck, timing, and divine guidance played huge roles. He wasn't chasing fame, clout, or validation. He didn't wake up thinking about Instagram numbers or viral moments. Instead, he focused on the craft, grinding day in and day out, trusting that the work would eventually pay off. And in his eyes, it did, sometimes in ways that felt almost guided by a higher power. Looking back, Blueface remembers the early days of recording, hustling, and pushing himself to the limit. There were moments of doubt, times when it felt like nothing would ever work out. He didn't have a label backing him, no massive team, just a vision and the belief that he could make it. That determination kept him going, even when doors were slammed in his face. The backpack he carried wasn't just a bag, it was a symbol of his struggle, the weight of his ambitions, and the raw potential he carried with him. The cleats? A reminder of where he came from, a nod to the streets and the discipline he learned on the courts and in the neighborhoods. Now, years later, he looks at the life he's built, the recognition, the money, the opportunities, and he sees more than just success. He sees a journey shaped by persistence, resilience, and faith. For him, it's not just about the fame. It's about surviving the chaos, navigating the drama, and staying true to himself in an industry that constantly tries to pull people off course. He often reflects on the choices he made, the mistakes, and the lessons. He admits that some of the fame and attention brought complications, relationships strained, trust broken, and personal boundaries tested, but it also reinforced the lessons he needed to learn. Blueface also talks about responsibility, especially when it comes to fatherhood. Life has changed not just because of fame or fortune, but because of the people in his life, his family, his kids, and the expectations that come with being a public figure. He's had to learn what it truly means to be present, to be accountable, and to separate himself from distractions that don't serve his growth or his children's well-being. He knows that the hustle alone isn't enough. There has to be balance, a moral compass, and a willingness to step up when it matters most. One of the biggest changes he mentions is how perspective evolves over time. In the beginning, every win was about proving himself to the world. Now, it's about proving to himself that he can maintain integrity, stay focused, and make decisions that align with his values. He credits God for giving him the clarity to see through the noise, to navigate the chaos of the streets, the music industry, and the personal drama that often comes with fame. That clarity, he says, is what separates fleeting success from lasting impact. Blueface reflects on how people often misunderstand him, assuming his actions are all about ego or clout. But he explains that the hustle is deeper than that. It's about legacy, survival, and making the most of the opportunities that come his way. He's learned to be patient, to wait for the right moments, and to trust the process. It's not about rushing, he says. It's about showing up, doing the work, and letting the results speak for themselves. Even with all the public scrutiny, the drama online, and the social media clout chasing, Blueface holds on to that sense of divine timing. He believes that everything that happened, both the good and the bad, shaped the person he is today. The challenges, the setbacks, and even the criticism were lessons designed to push him further, to test his resilience, and to force him to grow in ways he wouldn't have otherwise. Looking forward, he says his focus is no longer just on the grind for fame or money. It's about building something meaningful, something that lasts. It's about being a father, a mentor, and a figure who leaves a positive mark on those who follow him. He talks about the importance of surrounding himself with the right people, making choices that support his growth, and not letting the noise distract him from his purpose. Ultimately, Blueface's reflection is about perspective and gratitude. From a backpack and a pair of cleats, to stages, studios, and headlines, he acknowledges that his journey wasn't solo. It was a mix of hard work, timing, divine intervention, and lessons learned along the way. And while life continues to challenge him, he approaches it with the same passion he had in the beginning, but now with wisdom, clarity, and a deeper understanding of what truly matters. Meanwhile, the internet went wild when the latest DNA results for Cash Jr. dropped in. They didn't go Blueface's way. Fans, haters, and everyone in between were glued to their screens, dissecting every detail, every clip, every post. The drama had been building for months, with Blueface publicly denying he was the father, dodging questions, and keeping things vague enough to keep people talking. But the moment the official results came in, all speculation came crashing down. NLE Choppa, who had been lurking on the sidelines like a hawk, didn't waste a second. He jumped online immediately, mocking Blueface like he'd been waiting for this exact moment all year. Every post, every comment, every viral clip felt like a perfect setup for him to throw shade and publicly call Blueface out. It wasn't just trolling, it was a culmination of months, maybe even years, of tension, online battles, and simmering beef finally reaching a boiling point. For Blueface, the moment was complicated. He reluctantly confirmed the results. He was not the father. He called it a bittersweet feeling because, on one hand, he had mentally prepared himself for the possibility that he was. Part of him had already gone through the emotional process of imagining what fatherhood would look like. Imagining the responsibilities, the attention, the life changes. On the other hand, now that the results were official, all of that preparation felt almost wasted, like he had to readjust to a reality he hadn't fully anticipated. The timing of the results added another layer to the drama. People online immediately began dissecting every past clip, every interview, and every post, trying to piece together the story. Some fans wondered if Blueface had actually known all along, while others questioned whether the whole situation was exaggerated for clout. The mix of disbelief, gossip, and speculation made social media explode, with hashtags trending and memes flooding timelines in record time. Through it all, the underlying tension was clear. This wasn't just about DNA, it was about accountability, reputation, and the personal stakes involved. The results forced Blueface to face reality publicly, to acknowledge something that had been the subject of months of debate, and to deal with the consequences in front of a hyperactive, judgmental, and endlessly entertained audience. And as always, the internet made sure no detail went unnoticed. The twist. Everyone online started connecting the story back to Ronnie Khan X, who sadly passed away last year. In February 2025, Khan had shared DNA results, supposedly proving Blueface was the father, which raised eyebrows. Many questioned why a test hadn't been done sooner, especially after Ronnie's death. That's when Choppa swooped in with his classic smirk, clearly ready to call Blueface out. The beef between Blueface and NLE Choppa didn't start yesterday. They used to be cool, even collaborating on tracks like Shadow of Flow Remix and Holy Moly. Back then, there was mutual respect and good vibes. Choppa didn't hold back. He went online, challenged Blueface to a Vegas boxing match, called out fake promotional flyers, and demanded real hype before stepping into the ring. The DNA results just added fuel to the fire, giving Choppa the perfect opportunity to embarrass Blueface publicly. The tension between Blueface and NLE Choppa got even darker when Choppa made it crystal clear why he stopped rolling with Blueface. The reason? Allegedly, Blueface had been putting his hands on women. Choppa didn't hold back. He said it straight. "I don't respect a man who physically hurts women." That was the line that couldn't be crossed. Because of that, Choppa admitted he wouldn't even work with Blueface in music anymore. Respect, he says, is everything. Choppa explained that he's never been physically violent toward women. Sure, in the past he might have grabbed or pushed someone in self-defense, but he's never fought a woman, even with all the beef trolling and online drama. There were times Choppa showed a weird mix of pity. He didn't want Blueface locked up. It was a strange mix only the internet could understand. But now, that pity is gone. Choppa's laughing, vibing, and even dropping videos where he literally throws $100 bills at Blueface just to clown him. With this DNA drama resurfacing, Choppa is basically saying, I told y'all from the jump he didn't care. And the reason? Allegedly, he already knew the kid wasn't his. The hints were there all along. While Khan was pregnant, people noticed something off. She wasn't acting like a mom to Beshi, was out clubbing, partying, drinking, allegedly doing all kinds of substances. The clips, live streams, and receipts were everywhere, and he acted like it wasn't his problem. No protection, no guidance, no stability, just arguments on live streams. A lot of people saw that as a sign he was side-eyeing the paternity situation way before the baby arrived. Even Joe Memick weighed in, saying her reckless behavior during pregnancy may have contributed to health complications for JR. He caught her on FaceTime, smoking a joint while heavily pregnant. Charleston White echoed that energy too, and when Christian Rock responded, she claimed anyone who makes fun of her son is going to die, but realistically, we all die eventually. That doesn't mean people picking on a baby causes death, it's just wild exaggeration. After the birth, Blueface's lack of involvement got worse. Word is, he barely checked in or did even the minimum expected of a father. Meanwhile, Khan's parenting was under fire from all sides. She allegedly treated her son like a prop, leaving him alone in a car just to go live on social media, stunt that got CPS involved and even got her Twitch account banned. The vibe. Blueface stayed distant, indifferent, and Khan's parenting choices, combined with his absence, fueled the internet's ongoing criticism. The situation has been messy from start to finish. And the DNA drama just added fuel to the fire. Things got even messier when more clips of Khan went viral. In one, she's seen wiping her runny nose on her son like he's a napkin, no hesitation, no thought. People online were disgusted, calling her unstable, overwhelmed, irresponsible, and mentally off. The reactions were brutal. Then her ex, Hood Bino, dropped even more shocking claims. He said he witnessed everything firsthand. According to him, Khan fed the baby things he shouldn't eat, barely reacted when he cried, and even let him lie on the floor crying after falling off a bed. Junior can't even walk yet, but she treated the fall like it was nothing. Hood Bino made it clear he left her because he couldn't stand watching it. He said she's not a good mom and doesn't have the child's best interests at heart. He stressed that Junior needs proper therapy, real love, and stability, things he claims aren't being provided. He even said if he were Blueface, he would have taken the child long ago. The internet started worrying for little Junior, with people agreeing he needs real support and structure to thrive. Despite all of this, Hood Bino still emphasized that he wishes the best for the child. He said Junior is a sweet little boy who deserves love, pointing out that the right environment could make a huge difference. Drawing from his own experience as a father, including having an autistic son, he stressed the importance of proper care and support. So, when asked if the baby should go back to Blueface, he clarified, maybe, or at least until Khan gets her life and mindset straight. The key, he said, is making sure the child has the love and stability he needs. Here's the wild part. Even with all the neglect claims, CPS involvement, and unstable parenting, Blueface has still been letting Khan handle the child. That's why the internet is now turning on him, saying things like, you knew she had issues, you knew she wasn't stable, and you still let that baby suffer. Some even suggest Blueface bears indirect responsibility because he had opportunities to step in and didn't. And now, with the DNA drama resurfacing, the whole situation is heating up all over again. Blueface came out saying, I told y'all, he ain't mine, but the streets aren't exactly cheering. The big question still looms. Who's really Christian Jr.'s dad? Let's keep it real, what do you think? A lot of people point to her ex. He and Khan were together longer than some of the other drama going on, and honestly, many think the baby even resembles him. Blueface, on the other hand, he admits he hasn't studied the baby closely, but he's going to trust what people are saying. He's already got kids, so he knows how these situations work. Scientifically, he says, the DNA proves that he's not the father. He even joked that if someone offered him $100,000, he'd post the DNA results himself. The street, however, isn't buying it completely. Some think Blueface's denial has been a way to dodge responsibility, fatherhood, and accountability. Enter NLE Choppa. Sliding in like karma itself, he's been quick to call out all the trolling, sneak disses, and disrespect. What's really fueling the conversation is the idea that Blueface has been distant and disconnected because he might have known the kid wasn't his. Looking at the timeline, it kind of lines up. Instead of being there for Junior, he's been focused on online drama and keeping his name in headlines. Now with the DNA topic resurfacing, the internet is split. Some people think Khan's hiding the truth. Others say Blueface is lying. Some even think Ronnie Doe could really be the father. And there are those who say it's all clout, maybe there was never any DNA testing done at all. One fan hit the nail on the head. The situation needs a real, verified DNA test to settle this once and for all. So, what's your take? Did karma finally catch up to Blueface? Or is this just another round of internet chaos? And what about Khan? Does she have what it takes to raise Junior? Or is Hoodbino speaking the truth? We're diving deep here. If you're ready for unfiltered truths and eye-opening reveals, don't just scroll past, stick around and see what's coming next.